Hey guys, and welcome to my unboxing of the Reconguista G Gundam G-Self Perfect Pack. This is the newest iteration of the G-Self, now with the Perfect Pack. We've already seen the Atmospheric Pack, the Space Backpack, and the Assault Backpack, and now it's time for this one. There are a few more, the Torque Pack, the Tricky Pack, that we might not get kits of. I hope we do, just to kind of have a full set of them, but at this point it's looking like this might be the last HG that we see from the line. But I think it's probably a good way to end it because it looks like a great kit, and I think it's fitting for a last kit from the line. Kind of sad, as there are a lot of mobile suit designs from the series that it would be nice to get kits of, but the series was just not all that successful, I think. Just not really worth it for Bandai to make those kits at this point in time. They have a whole new series to worry about. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Anyway, this kit, as always, was provided by MindFenix Hobby Store, so thank you once again to them for letting me share this kit with you guys and bring you hopefully some insightful information and helpful looks at this, if in case this is a kit that you're considering buying. So I gotta say, this box art is really amazing. It's looking great. The Gundam is looking awesome. No matter what you think about the G-Self, you have to admit this box art is really cool. I think if there was any Gundam box art that sort of personified the rapper Gucci Mane, this is it, because this box art is looking so shiny, so icy here. It's just sparkling all over the place and just looking pretty awesome. So looking good so far. Let's go ahead and take a look around the sides of the box now. Here on the side, it's not really anything different, just what we saw on the front again. But if you're seeing this kit on a shelf with a bunch of other kits all stacked up and this is all you're going to see, I think it's still going to make a really great impression. It's definitely going to stand out with everything just looking very blue on there. Of course, the Gundam does have quite a few other colors on there, but definitely blue and like this like really bright, shiny aesthetic is really coming through here, so it just really looks very impressive. Here on the side, of course, some of that is going to be lost as now we're just looking at the kit instead of some awesome art, but the kit is still going to be looking very unique here with all of these clear blue parts, especially most notably on the shield, the new shield we've got, and on the backpack. The base is molded in this sort of clear translucent white, which I don't really like, but we'll just have to deal with it this time, it looks like. And it also looks like it's going to be using that same very ugly connection part like it for the Assault Pack. I really hated the connection part that it had for that. This one looks like it's going to sadly be using a equally ugly connection part there, but luckily it's located on the back and you're probably never going to see it. So here is about the action. Of course, we have these really awesome effect parts we're going to be using with this. They're looking great there. Here's about the kind of attack mode here. Actually, it's called assault mode, and all those cannons pointed forward and all of that. Got some nice hands, looks like. Well, I don't know, we'll just have to see. The open hand does look a little bit to be the normal HG Reconguista in G. Boring open hands there. Then weapons, we've got the shield, the beam rifle, the large cannons, the beam sabers. Nice, we've got beam sabers this time. I really wish the assault pack would have come with some. And then our base and effect parts. So, as you guys can see too, this is a much larger box. I wasn't expecting it to be the thicker box. I was just kind of expecting the normal box size, but I think because of the fact we have the Gundam, the backpack, a base, and all of that stuff on the backpack, plus the effect parts, so obviously we've got a thicker box here. Here we can see just some information about the Perfect Pack and the pilot, Belri, both looking very cool. I love the art of Reconguista and G. The story, of course, is nonsense, but at least the art, it's an amazing looking series. I will definitely say that. 2,500 yen for this, so it definitely is high. That's about the normal price for a normal RG kit, so yeah, you might want to take that into consideration, but just remember we're getting a lot of stuff in here, so just keep that in mind. Our first bag is going to have some yellow in there, as well as some clear pink effect parts. And then bag number 2 has a very large sticker sheet there. Considering the price was similar to an RG, I guess it's not too surprising that this sticker sheet should be similar to an RG as well, but actually that's just kind of disappointing. So not really happy about that, but that is also nothing new for a G-Self kit. I think all of the G-Selfs have a lot of stickers on them. The G-Sticker, as it's been known to be called. The third bag has some gray parts, including our hands, which don't look too terrible, but also not really all that great. There's some of our effect parts. one set of them, as of course we are going to be having a separate set here. Not a separate set, but just a copy of the same set in that bag. Then some more here with our polycaps, a few more clear parts. Those look like the clear parts for the G-Self itself, as well as the torso parts there in red, and then some light blue around for some of the armor of the Gundam. And finally, some more parts for the new shield and backpack, as well as our base there. So let's go ahead and get into the manual down in that box. Once again, just loving the artwork here. Very typical Reconguista and G style manual there. On the back, you can see it's fighting the Kabakali. I built that kit. If you haven't seen it, you can watch the unboxing and review for that here on my channel. All we can see is the beam rings there just flying at the Perfect Pack G-Self. Then just some more information about the Gundam that we saw before. As I said before, this is called the Assault mode. This is called the Reflector mode, so it's kind of interesting that it had the Reflector pack before, and now maybe sort of using this in a similar fashion with the Reflector pack. I haven't gotten to the point in the anime to see this yet, so I haven't seen it actually in action. I'll have to watch that so that I know a little bit about what's going on here with this particular variation of the G-Self. Then hear about the world with a kind of very simple photo, or not photo but illustration there, and then our color guide. And interestingly, along with our color guide, some very nice artwork there, so I'm not really sure what's going on with this. I'm guessing this is just a look at some of the original artwork that was used for the Gundam, maybe before it was like finalized and drawn into the actual anime. Looks very cool, especially the feet look a lot better there. Very nice looking design there. I would like to have a scan of that and a nice big larger image. Of course it's very small, I couldn't really blow it up too big. But I think that is going to be it for stuff, so let's get into the construction. So here on the parts list, it's very safe to assume that a lot of these parts, these runners are not going to be new, as they're just runners for the G-Self, and like I said, probably the Space Backpack too, I believe. So we can see there are going to be a few X's, but not really all that many. Just a couple here on the A runner, a couple there on the B runner. I can recognize those are the shoulder armor parts. So we do have new shoulder armor parts we're going to be using. So we'll have some extras of those. But personally, the shoulder armor is one of the parts of the G-Self design that I hate the most. So I'm sure I'm never going to reuse those shoulder armor parts for any other kit ever in the future. So probably just going to throw those away. I normally keep extra parts, but I don't think I'm going to have any reason to keep those extra parts. Going through the construction a little bit quickly now, if you guys don't mind, we'll start with the head, and then the body, and then the waist. Shouldn't be anything new if you guys have built a previous version of the G-Self. Will be a little bit new there, as I said. We do have new parts for the shoulder armor there, constructing the right and left arms. Moving on to the legs, nothing new on the legs as far as I know. Of course, some of the plastic is going to be in a different color. So like the blue and red for the armor of this Gundam, I know are going to be in a slightly different shade. That's kind of interesting. Putting the body all together and then moving on to the backpack, as we now can come around to our color page. One of the 3 color pages actually. All of the backpack construction is in color, which is kind of nice. And then just building the main part first with those really cool looking articulated arms there. And then the kind of cannon parts, putting that all together. Then building the weapons, just very simple there. And finally on the last page, the shield, and putting all the stickers, everything on the shield there. I really like the look of the shield, and then how to change it to the assault mode and reflector mode. So let's go ahead and get into looking at all of the runners. Okay, so starting us off with our sticker sheet, once again it is very large with these really cool red lightning bolt kind of stickers that are supposed to go on the shoulders. Kind of interesting there, as well as our eyes, parts for the head, and just all the stickers. I think probably most of this section here is all for the G-Self. And then just a few stickers there for the Perfect Pack, so not a whole lot of new stickers there. Well, I guess maybe I divided that a little bit wrong, but you guys get the idea. There's quite a lot of stickers on the G-Self, the Gundam itself, so that's a little bit disappointing, but just something you have to deal with this particular design. Then for our polycaps, we have PC002, which is our very typical HG polycap runner, as well as PC202, which is just adding a few more polycaps, probably guessing that most of these are going to be going on the space backpack. The Perfect Pack. Then we have SB15 for our beam saber parts. These are the very, very thin beam sabers that are coming with the G-Self Gundam. This runner is from 2014 here. So these are, like I said, the newer ones that came with the previous version of the G-Self. Runner A1 is a very large white runner that shouldn't be anything new if you guys have built any of the past versions of the G-Self. It's just going to be the same thing here. Again, I really like the shape of these beam saber handles. One of my favorite parts about the design. And then there's all of our parts there. Of course, the parts for the head and legs and a lot of just our white armor there. Runner B is our red parts for mostly the torso and the stomach and the head piece. This is definitely a much darker red than we've seen in previous versions where it's just basically a basic red color. This is definitely much more of like a maroon, so that's kind of interesting with this kit here. Then runner C is in this light blue color. This also, I believe, is slightly lighter than previous versions of the G-Self. Obviously, the Assault Pack had this in red, but I believe the original G-Self kit, I believe, was slightly darker than this, but possibly not. I'm not really too sure. Close, but I think slightly different. And runner D, probably not any different here, as we've just got our yellow parts for the chest vents, the neck piece, and the yellow parts on the front and back skirt. Then runner E is our gray runner of all of our parts for the joints, hands, beam rifle there, and all of that. I haven't mentioned it yet, but just so you guys know, all of these runners so far are marked with the marking HG1144 Gundam G-Self. So these are all, of course, the same runners that we've had if you've built any of the previous versions of the G-Self. And that will conclude now with runner F, as this is the last one of the old runners before we get into some new parts. And these are obviously going to be our clear parts that are in this really nice clear blue that are going to be going around on the Gundam itself. I wish for some areas, especially like that piece, which is like the cockpit hatch piece in the chest, that we had a not clear, but like a silver chrome sticker to put underneath that, like we have with other kits where we have clear parts, like the 00 kits where we're usually putting the sticker underneath. In this case we don't, and I think that's kind of a shame because that clear can definitely be kind of lost in the chest there, but if you were able to paint something really shiny underneath that, it would definitely help bring these parts out a bit. Then we're going to skip way into the alphabet all the way to runner T now. Of course we went through the original kit, which had the atmospheric pack, and then the second kit, which was the space pack, and then the assault pack, which obviously took up a lot of the letters. So going through all of those letters now for the G-Self, this is now up to runner T. So these are obviously going to be our parts for the backpack and the new shield. Interestingly, the runner is still just marked with the same marking of HG1144 Gundam G-Self. So there's no special marking about the space, or I'm sorry, about the Perfect Pack. I have a feeling I've probably been calling it the space pack at times when I meant to say Perfect Pack a few times in this review, so if I have done that, sorry about that, guys. Another good point that's very, very good news for me, those lightning bolts that I mentioned on there, it's kind of supposed to be a red lightning bolt. I figured it's only going to be the sticker, but there is actually a molded detail for that, so if you guys are going to be painting this, you can give a good sigh of relief that that is a molded detail. Although the mold looks really shallow, it's going to be pretty difficult to paint by hand. But I think it's definitely easier than having no option at all. I think probably the best choice is going to be just getting some water slides and just sticking a water slide on there. But worst comes to worst, you can always just paint that there. And then runner U is going to be more new parts here, and we do have 2 of these. Now I was expecting that maybe the cannon parts of the backpack were recycled from the previously released space backpack. Well, as we can see, that's not the case, because this is a totally new runner now for this kit, although still marked with the same marking of just G-Self, nothing specific to the Perfect Pack here. Another nice thing we can see about these runners is that for these connection pieces, which are going to be used for those articulated arms for the cannons on the backpack, this is just one solid piece, so there's not like sandwiching these two parts together. Just one nice solid hollow piece with the hole going through it there, or not all the way through, but anyway with the holes in there to connect that. So that is going to be nice. It would have been really a pain to have to get rid of seam lines on just small little like arm pieces like that. So some pretty nice construction on this, I can see. Then we have our huge awesome runner here of clear blue for our effect parts. So just some clear blue parts for the shield and new parts for the backpack, as well as our effect parts there. And then we do have, sorry, that's backwards, should be, no, right, like that, sorry, that was right. And then we have runner V2 as well, which is a copy of this part here. Obviously we don't need two parts for the shield and the top of the backpack, but there's that. Then we have runner W is more of like gray kind of joint parts. These are going to be gray parts and joint parts for the backpack. Kind of nice that we got some new open hands for this kit. I wasn't expecting there to be new open hands, but sadly the pose of them is still kind of not really nothing to get excited about, but at least we do have some new hands here. And then here's our connection piece there for that backpack and our connection piece for the new shield as well. Then we do also have a runner W2. So W2 is just going to be a copy of that half of the runner. Then finally, BA1 runner base 1 is our base with just a couple different options, a low and high posing option, as well as this extension piece as well, to make it even higher if you want. Like I said, and as you can see, it is in this translucent white color, which doesn't look too bad in this case that it's a base. I don't really like it when it's on the kit, but for a base, I don't think it's too bad. So that's it for the runners. So that's it for unboxing the G-Self Perfect Pack. There's a lot of stuff in that box. You can see definitely where the 2,500 yen price tag is coming into play. But it looks like a really nice kit, and like I said, you can't deny that that is some pretty awesome looking box art there. Box art of the year, I'm not sure if I could say that, but it definitely is going to be looking really awesome. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions, comments, leave those below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the review.